So here we are, part 2 of the stream. Now we're going to get into our major dono session here with all of our streamers here on board once again. If you're visiting us here on YouTube, this was live a few days ago, but now you're watching it on YouTube. And so that's why everybody here is now saying hi to YouTubers. Right now, there they go. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do a pretty long run here. This first one is going to be coming in from Mephisto. Mephisto. How you doing? This is a band called Lucy Lacus. And let's see what we got here. And the name of the track is Partner in a Crime. So let's do this. All right.
When I asked you to coffee, could you tell I don't drink it?
What a trip on the sound of on the kit.
The cafe, could you tell what I was thinking? My heart's on my sleeve, it's embarrassing. The puppy thing beating. When you asked my age, I saw relief dawn on your
This is a really nice settled groove. I love this.
It's mine, let the record show. I walked in on my own. Deep in the city, I'd never sleep, so lay down in the middle of the street. Lamplight like parallel suns, crowding out the early morning stars. Concrete holding heat from the daytime, picking petals to see if you will be mine. Do you love me? Do you love me not? Do you love me? Do you love me not? Do you love me? Do you love me not? Do you love me? Do you love me not?
You know, I'm going to stop here for a second. I love the purposeful use on her voice of the auto-tune. We've talked about this before. Definitely no need to auto-tune her voice, but one of the side artifacts of using auto-tune, which you can actually make it more focus on that artifact, is the choppiness, the little choppy between the changes in the notes in the melody that she's singing. Now, obviously, this track was built on using unique textures, post-production textures on there. Like, for instance, that kind of crisp, not crispy, kind of an oversaturated, could be an oversaturation plugin that's on the main channel of the drums. That kind of gives it a little bit of that little slight distortion thing going on. Every instrument in there, actually, even the clean guitar, that's kind of holding a little bit more of the floating of the chord changes that are going on there, that clean guitar sound, does have an ambient vibe to it that really lends itself to being just really laid back and chill and ambient. But even that has kind of an odd little lo-fi twist to it. So the whole track has a very kind of gel, layback, chill vibe to it. Really nice melody and everything. But it seems like the emphasis, engineering-wise, was to give each one of the arrangements its own special identity in some kind of effect in post.
You were my partner in crime. It was a welcome waste of time. Eating cherries on the bridge, feet dangling, throwing the pits and stems into the racing current below. I get vertigo, looking
Kind of has this, that kind of reminds me of a little bit of a shoegaze vibe now. Doesn't it? Such a conflict in tone. It's a little offsetting, but as equally beautiful. Yeah, there was a really big emphasis on the dynamics between the engineering, the messaging, I guess, of the post work. I think Louis Spaghetti asked me something about the saturation sounds and stuff like that. So an overdriven sizzle, like on that, where I said that section that said it sounded a little shoegazy. That was an intentional, like, over fry, if you would. And so that is like more of a focus on a distortion. Where saturation, this actually comes from the old days of analog. Actually, there used to be a process, if you kind of knew what you were doing in mastering or in mixing out, that you would consider what's called tape saturation. That would cause just a little bit of an artifact, nuanced artifact in there. You'd have to be really dialed in to listen to it. For some of us old farts, tape saturation was, you know, like something very analog and very, you know, close to our hearts back in the day. But this particular track definitely has that unique, I don't know if juxtaposition is the right word to use, where you're kind of back and forth between the messaging is kind of being slid in on something that feels slightly uncomfortable because it's a little distorted, a little saturated, but then you had this beautiful floating vocals that were being sung there. That was kind of like, it's like a first degree burn and you put ice on it. You know, eventually, you know, it'll go away. It's not bad enough and it's not blistering. That would be what I would consider the post sidechain effects, or the, you know, on the drums being saturated, that weird fried sound on that lead kind of vibe. And then the voice was actually very nice and soothing, which would have been a little piece of ice on it and stuff like that. But I liked the emotions that combination delivered. So Mephisto, I thought that was a really wonderful and very unique sounding too. This was very unique. It had me hooked in there from the beginning to the very end, where I was like going, what are they doing? How are they doing this? What is this making me feel? It made me, I contemplated, Mephisto. I contemplated. I was in there going, quoi? How could it be? Just without all those faces. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. That was really, really super cool, Mephisto. All right, next up, Makuzia. How are you, Makuzia? How have you been? Glad you're back. I don't know about being contemplative. I think more of brain fartish. Anyhow, Makuzia, welcome back. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. Thank you so much for quite the generous cup of coffee. I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm rolling quarters getting ready for my surgery, where I'm going to be down for 10 days. So I'm going to be buying stocks of peanut butter and coffee and stuff. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You know, working at a nonprofit, there is no PTO at a nonprofit, right? When you're doing stuff at a nonprofit. So I'll be stepping away there. Thank you for your kindness. This is a band called Ado. This is coming in from Akuzia. And the name of this track is Unravel. Oh, it's a live track. Oh, I love listening to live music. So the song is called Unravel. The band is called Ado. And let's go ahead and see what Makuzia is bringing into the mix here. All right. This is a cover? Okay. That bass. Hello? Wow. What a unique dynamic from the softness of her voice, this whisper. Wow. Wow, she's crushing it. Ooh, I love the bass work. Oh my goodness. And this is live. Jeez. Oh my God. Sorry, I got to stop it there. She is absolutely tremendous. I mean, at a level of like Ginger and a lot of these other metal band, the female singers and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, there's no, when you get to that level of female vocals where you have the dynamic and the dexterity to take your vocals into so many different transitions and so many different types of expression, you never get to a place when you get that good to compare one to the other, because they each yield a very unique presentation in their performance. But whoever this singer is, she has amazing, passionate way of performing, even with some of the nuances where you can hear she's just barely getting her breath all together to hit these next pieces and stuff like that. Everything about it just oozes straight. I mean, I want to see a picture of her. I mean, she's this itty bitty thing in a cage here on this video. Just absolutely tremendous and just incredible. I mean, that's what's right now, everything that I'm leaning on this track is around the vocals and the performance. The musicians are great, the performance is great of the arrangements and stuff, but she's just amazing. Damn, that's one hell of a stadium. Jeez. That string noise at the end. And I love the fact, Makuzi, that you're telling me that she's never shown her face. Wow. I'm sorry, I'm all in on that. I'm in on that, first of all, as a live performance. I will say one thing. That had to have been a beast for the live engineering. Even if they took these tracks in for mixing, you know, post-performance mixing in a studio. I will say that the vocals at the very beginning were just a little pushed out in front of the mix pretty hot. So I was having to lean into what the support arrangements were doing because she was in that really, really soft pocket of singing. So maybe there wasn't somebody with automation, you know, finger on the fader or any automation, you know, flying around if it was done in post. If this is directly off of the live performance without a post mix, then my heart's beating for the sound engineer who had to manage that. As for her performance, and also the unique, I don't know, the allure of what Makuzia was saying earlier, that she's never shown her face, so that these performances are done with backlighting and stuff like that. So who is this mysterious singer? I got to tell you something. I saw DJ Tambor's message about, you know, RIP voice. And in my mind, too, I'm thinking the same thing as well. But even the very last note in this, I heard zero stress in that young childlike head voice in the last couple notes that she hit there. I was waiting to hear some kind of stress. You know, there was a couple of tonal inflections, obviously. Having to go from, you know, different techniques and breathing techniques and performance, and then, of course, just being live and energized in a performance. But I can't imagine, this is just one song that we listened to. I can't imagine that she's doing a whole concert like this. It's just absolutely mind-numbing, and it's very enduring. I'd love to hear her voice when she's 45 or 50 to see if she doesn't have that Cinderella rasp. And what I mean by that is you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a band in the 80s called Cinderella, and that vocalist, when he got older, he literally had lost his voice completely. But that probably had to do a lot with technique and other elements as well. But this was an incredible performance, and I can't thank you enough, Makuzia, for bringing that. Was that a Japanese? I mean, obviously, I'm looking at the title below the video, and it looks like it's Japanese, yeah. So, but this is a cover, right? So where did this originally come from? If this is a cover, was this a, what was the name of this was the second cover of that song. Oh, did I do another one earlier? I'm sorry. Ah, thank you. Oh my goodness. So that's an incredible song. People love it so much I want to cover it a couple times. Wow. Makuzia, thank you so much, man. That was epic. I really enjoyed that. Time flew. I was like, you know, you can tell when you're hearing great pieces of work when time just freezes or flies. Flies or freezes? It flies when it freezes. I don't know. It was what it was. Thank you so much. Lacrimosa! How are you? Thanks for coming back. I missed all the gang when I was gone for a couple of weeks here. So once again, too, as well for you. Thank you so much for your generous donation. I really appreciate it. That's very, 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 very kind of you. So it's good to see you here too as well. And are you here? Where are you, Lacrimosa? Oh, there you are. You are in blue. You are in turquoise. This is a band, a progressive, and the name of the track is... Oh, okay. The name of the band is Horse the Band. It's progressive. With a very subtle title here called Murder. And I'm reading your message right now. Happy Father's Day. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. He says this is very interesting fusion. So let's see what we got here. Lacrimosa's always bringing some very unique experiences to my brain. So let's see what we got here. 8-bit metal. 8-bit murder. Oh, there it is. That's a symbol right. See, I love this about that track, about this track. Got to stop it really quick. Sorry, guys. What I love about this track is the fact that they started off with that 8-bit vibe in the intro of the track and stuff, and they didn't lose it at all when they came in with the power. You know, so I would hedge a bet that probably all these guys were like hardcore gamers back in the day, and it was kind of partless. Like, it's such a twisted mix, if you would, about, you know, the subject matter and the whole thing and the darkness that the band has. But then while it has this 8-bit grind going, opened up with the 8-bit arrangement, hit us with a little bit of the core, still kept the 8-bit arrangement in there, and then we just had another bit of a breakdown, kind of like an 8-bit core breakdown back into the metal. And I love that they're keeping that just as present. They're not trying to bury it there like it's inconsequential. It's like a very important part of their track is that 8-bit vibe. Oh wow, listen to the bass on the turnaround. This is such a trip how they're blending this in production. A little bit of a Pink Floyd weirdness there. Oh, I love this ending with a funeral drum vibe. Super trippy track, La Cremos. Oops, there we go. I think the emphasis for me on this was the fact that they just kind of kept and honored up that that 8-bit approach, synthy approach to the whole track. You know, and even when I'm looking at the artwork, you know, this kind of a 2D vibe, even though it's a pretty dark, gnarly song title, per se. The the fact that they didn't lose that whole synthy 8-bit thing. Now, what I don't know, La Cremosa, and maybe you can help me with this, is that off of this album, which I'm sure you're probably much more acquainted with, if this was that standout track that uses that 8-bit kind of crunchy synthy thing, or is that integrated to all the songs in the album and that's like a through theme? You know, that's why if this was like a standout track in of itself, all the tracks are like this. Wow. I'd really like to find out if these guys had a love affair somewhere with video games when they were younger. You know, because the thing is too, it's like that 8-bit sound in my world, in how I play / understand composing when it comes to being authentic to a style. There's a unique way to play and arrange 8-bit work so it doesn't sound like you're going beyond. God, I don't know how to say this. Because music doesn't really have boundaries and stuff. I mean, we have everything from, you know, all different types of 8-bit compositions and stuff like that. But there was just a way that they wrote it that made it seem like somehow, some way, he spent a lot of time playing a lot of video games and kind of took in the kinds of arrangements. Didn't make it too fat and stuff like that. Kept the 1/5, kept the octave running and stuff. But I thought it was a great track. And there's some really great bass playing too. Fantastic bass playing. But I have to admit that the whole track I was more taken in by the that hybrid marriage between the 8-bit vibe and the darker. I guess would I also say it's a little more black metal-ish. So it's like an 8-bit black metal vibe. I don't know. That might not be a safe thing to say, but anyhow. La Cremosa, thank you so much for bringing that. That was great. Look, everybody loved to hear. Everybody's chiming in on that and leaning into it. So thank you so much. And thanks for coming back, man. I know it's been a while. I appreciate it. Okay, next up. Okay, Judgment Kazi, is you in the house? Judgment Kazi, is you in the house? We have a jazz track coming from Pokemon. What's up, Judgment? How's it? So we have a Pokemon game, guys, and this is, he says it's jazz. And this one is called, let me see, Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. So, wait a minute, he gave me some good background. I want to read this background. This is a medley of trainer battle between the 4th generation of Pokemon games. This includes the encounter theme, the battle theme, and the victory motif. The artist here is insanely in music. Jazz covers, and the game music has already begun being hired as a video game composer. Oh, nice, as well as that was his dream. All instrumentation is usually done solely by him. However, this track was from the album he made covering the entire of Generation 4 soundtrack. Oh, wow, for his Berkeley final for college. Well, Berkeley. I see. Okay, we're doing this. Oh, stand by. I want to answer Double A's question. Double A, you know what I did? I made a little bit of a mistake. I was doing donation sum hierarchy, not date. So I think I should skate myself back into date. My bad. Job opening. I suck. Here we go. Thanks for asking me, Double A. You know me, man. Got to keep me on track. Here we go. Great. I take it that's a leitmotif right there. Listen to the bass player. Very unique sound for that electric string. I like this part, real swarmy. God, that drummer's so solid. I wonder if all the musicians are in this Berkeley class as well. Yeah, she's crushing. You can tell by her face. She's having the best time ever. Oof. Oh my gosh, she is just crushing. Wow, the harmonics she's pulling from that. I wonder what she's running it through, though. So this must be the leitmotif. Oh, the victory song. Yay! He had to get, so that must be the guy with the conductor who was the guy who wrote it, him right there. Yep, that would be him. Ah, that's great. Wait, I'm gonna go back to that little cut there. I'm gonna take it that's him. What a great arrangement. I can imagine what rehearsal time must have looked like in that. I don't know if you noticed it, but in the reflection of the window behind him in the control room, you could see everybody bopping and popping off in there. There were some really nice arrangements going on in there. And considering that the horn section was represented by single one trumpet, one trombone, one saxophone. They got some really good richness out of the arrangement and stuff. The sound was great. The engineering was great. That young lady with the violin was absolutely crushing it, but she definitely was running it through something. I mean, obviously, if it's, I don't know much about an electric violin like that. I'm assuming that is dedicated to a line out that's going to get run into something that generates either the tone itself through a pickup, or it needs some kind of boost or whatever. I'm not familiar, so I don't know. But I do know that a couple times I heard a couple delays show up and then disappear. There was a couple of times I heard her lead get a little saucy and a little darker with some harmonics on there, as if there was some distorted on the back end. So I don't know if she controlled that or that was, maybe done a little later. But I love that sound. I guess that drummer is a very well-known drummer as well. Because at first I was thinking, okay, so this guy for his, what did you say it was, his thesis, his musical thesis for Berkeley, did this arrangement. So I was thinking maybe everybody was involved in the same class, perhaps graduating class or with him. But nonetheless, I thought that was really, really kick-ass, and I loved it. I love the ending. The ending caught me off guard, even though you told me what the ending was going to be about. That was kind of like a nice little surprise winner. The question is that we just heard this banging arrangement of it. Was it this powerful in the original Pokemon? Was it still kind of big band-esque, like how this composer arranged it, or was there a different genre attached to it, like maybe more EDM or something like that? But yeah, I don't know if she had that on a whammy paddle. Yes, I know she probably would crush on that. So it was more chiptune. So this was come off of chiptune. Oh, that's great. Wow, so he really lifted for sure. It sounds like then went from a chiptune into, I wouldn't say big band style arrangement, but by putting in the horns and stuff, you kind of skirt that a little bit. But just real super slick. His name is Sinnoh Trainer. Oh no, wait. Pokemon DPPT Sinnoh Trainer Battle Melody was the name of it. Okay. Or is his name Sinnoh Trainer? Somebody help me. What is it? A judgment? It was his name. Oh, Sinnoh is the name of the composer. Okay. Okay. Oh, that was the name. Okay, wait. So what's the name of the composer? You may have wrote it down and I went. Okay. Either way, guy crushed. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's right here. Stand by. Innovation. Okay. Anyhow, Judgment, thank you so much. Always dropping in all the stuff that makes me go, and I make that face all the time. All right, I realized I was doing something kind of odd when I was pulling through my donos here. I had it set somehow. I kept on hitting one thing, and I was pulling out of order. So I'm going to try to catch up now to things that were in order, that were things that were posted as far back as 5/31, right after the day I announced I was going to take a short break, of people who had left donos, and it's been now 2 weeks. So I'm going to catch up on some of that right now. So this one's coming in from the Kebab Seller from actually May 31st dono. This is a game from the Kebab Seller, who's always in on our streams here, but he's never in our streams because he's in another part of the world, so he likes to parachute in. He'll leave me a message on Discord about what he thought about the song after I listen to it, or sometimes on YouTube. This one is a main theme from a game called Command & Conquer Generals. Are you guys familiar with that? Let's go ahead and do that from the Kebab Seller. All right. I think I've done one of these from this OST for him before as well. Has that full-on Arabic Moroccan vibe. That's the bass. It sounds. Getting that low horn section in there. Really nice arrangements right here. I love this. This is great. Giving me a little Halo vibes here. Until there. I love that double time two-step loop in the background percussively. That was a great track, and if that was somewhere in gameplay, that had to have been something like in an area where there was battle going on. But arrangement-wise, the more raw, uncompressed, overdriven sound of the guitars was a really nice compliment to some of the more warmer horn pads that were going on back there. Kind of a little reminiscence of a kind of cashmere-ish kind of vibe, just without the obvious dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun. You know, but there was that dun 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 in Cashmere where they actually, it wasn't a horn section, but it kind of emulated that with that dun dun dun. Of course, Cashmere was a lot more melodic than what we just heard, but I also think since Cashmere was Moroccan, Middle Eastern influence too, there's a kind of a draw into that. There was that one little section I really, really liked when they did the string pad with the really tight marching drum. And then the marching drum would just let up for maybe 2 beats, and you'd hear that double time two-step. Very tasty, very cool, and it kind of kept you creepy on edge. You know, which I'm sure that whoever plays this game or played this game, I don't know if this was like behind a battle or something, but it's definitely a compliment to something dark and sinister, battle style of that nature. So, thank you, Kebab Seller. Of course, everybody thanks you, Kebab Seller. I know you're not here, but when you say hi in Discord or leave a comment on the YouTube video, everybody can go, hey, buddy, what's up? Okay, so, double A. Jesus. Next one up, it snows in Australia. How are you, my friend? I've got one here coming to you from Snows in Australia. I don't know if he's still here. Lurking in the background, perhaps. He wants a band by the name of Louis Andriessen. Hey, there we go. Some modern Dutch minimalism. Oh, that sounds very interesting. Seriously. What a trip. Let's see what this is. This one is... So it's a Dutch answer to American minimalism. All right, here we go. Kind of like a M is for Mozart. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. I love the pulses. Trippy. You have all the brass and the woodwinds represented just fine. Funny callback. Could this have been one of Danny Elfman's influences? Think about it. Listen to this. Snows in Australia. When was this released? When was this written? Has a musical theater edge to it. 1993. I feel like I'm like in an upside down Beetlejuice soundtrack. Man, that was a trip, Snows in Australia. Where did you come across this track? I mean, in what part of your, like, later in your musical journey, or is this something that you're already into and Louis Andriessen came out with this? And is this is this album project all based around brass and reed sections and horns? Or is this just one of the tracks in there that are in this this body of work? I loved it. You don't really hear a lot of pieces like this that are strictly across reed section, horn section, and everything. And it has Oh, it has vocals and stuff, and then there's opera. Okay. So, but it does sound very musical and theatrical, you know, in wherever this is fitting inside this journey on this album. Maybe this was this one breather in between major pieces or something that gave it a little bit of a quirkiness to it and wonkiness of it. Of course, for myself, when it comes to any kind of wind instruments, be it brass reeds, flutes, etc., some of the dynamics that you get out of the fact that breath is connected with these instruments and stuff are so unique. Not to take away from dynamics from everyone else inside an orchestra or something, but there's something to it, knowing that every single note that we heard there was based on, you know, that breathing technique. I can't imagine what it was like to go, you know, on the trumpets and stuff, you know, staggered breathing, you know, with the horn players and stuff like that to keep these lines, you know, or some of the smaller, you know, arrangements that were in there. I also, like I said, I couldn't help but just kind of harken back into, you know, these elements of, I don't know who came first, you know, the chicken or the egg. Was it this guy, Danny Elfman, or wherever the core influence of what that style is? But that 1/8 unga 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 that the piano was doing, that was getting support with the arrangements, you know. So the Home Alone, you know, the Beetlejuice style that Danny, you know, is very well known for. But I loved it. I listened to a track like this, and I'm just in my mind, I'm watching the section play. You know what I mean? It's like I'm watching them all play. It's like my AI imaginary orchestral friend creating this section in front of me, and I'm watching them play this thing through and through. And so I get mesmerized by it. I mean, sometimes when I get really quiet when I'm listening to music here, it's not because I got nothing to say. It's always because I'm mesmerized by something and I'm letting it live in my brain. Thank you for that, Snows. That was badass. I love that. You do bring the eclectic, abstract strokes and the sonic strokes into the chat here. Okay, next up. Here comes some progressive metal now, and I also know this band to be just wonderful to listen to with musicianship, dynamics, and everything. This comes from our buddy Double A, coming in today. And what do we got here? This is Thank You Scientists. You guys know that band? They are really, really super good. The name of this track is Gemini. So this is what it's going to be about, coming in from Double A. You know he's going to give us that stuff. You know we're going to bang on this. Here we go. All right. Thank you, Scientist. Soft Claudio vibe from Coheed and Cambria. Little harmonica right there. Singles violin. This also sounds like another group of musicians that were Juilliard, Berkeley oriented. See, I thought it was the harmonica, no, but actually it's the violin. Da, da, da. I like this part a lot. Ooh, that was a great drum fill. I like this section. Da, da. I like how they end that up on the major. Oh, I love that guitar tone there. Ginger, so they came from Montclair State University. You mean from their music department? Chug in the background. Dun, 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 dun. That sounded like a Strat neck pickup run there. That was great. I love that section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, trippy end. It gave me, you know, parts because of his voice. Kind of gave me parts of the Coheed and Cambria, Claudio kind of vibe to the voice. Maybe not as crispy, but in tone and delivery, some really great arrangements that are going in there. Very authentic. Very organic. I was at first when I said, "Oh, is that a harmonica?" But then I realized what I was hearing was a little harmonic tone from the violin player playing in unison with some of the guitar parts. Kind of created an odd kind of phase tone in my head, at least. But I mean, once again, this is just like the other band that we heard, who did it for the Berkeley, you know, his final thing. A lot of times knowing that these bands come out of specific sonic breeding grounds, if you would, music departments from different universities and stuff together, and they come out and they put things together of this nature. You know, you can imagine the camaraderie, the family woodshedding, if you would, of writing together and performing and doing these very unique compositions. The guitar tones in this were great. They were not oversaturated, and there was a couple points there were some real chunky riffy stuff that they could have done had they wound it out a little more and just kind of saturated and just made it all a little more metal grindy. But that's not what their thing is, obviously. And so this, I think I did one other one from Thank You Scientist, but nonetheless, kicked ass. Thank you very much for bringing that into the house. It's nice, very eclectic stream thus far. I'm going to jump around a little bit, and I'm going to grab one from Ginger. And the one from Ginger is a band, Darius and Rotten. I'm just rando jumping around here, guys. Stand by. I know I have some fresh donos that came in today. We're still a little ways away from that. I'm trying to just jump around a little bit, see if I can't bring a couple of these days through. So give me a second here. This one is called Turn to Dust. Currently dying in the heat. His AC is broken. Oh, dude, is your AC still broken? Or was that last week when you posted that? Or when you put that kind of thingy? So, it's still broken. Oh my gosh, are you dying? Oh, I don't know what's worse. I think sleeping at nighttime when it's hot and your AC is broken is worse than sleeping at nighttime with your heater. Yeah, at least you can mount on the clothing and the blankets and stuff, but when you're hot and you're like peeling it back going, oh my God, it's too hot, I can't sleep, you're sweating, sheets are sticking to you. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. All right, Ginger, let's bring the coolness in here to the session, see what this is all about. And also, thank you very much. That was a very kind donation, Ginger. I appreciate it. Here we go. Hey, wait, that's not your track. How'd I do that? Sorry, my bad. My bad. I need recovery. 1 a.m. Could you look that up, please? Or AA, whoever might be in the house. I plucked the wrong one from Ginger, and therefore, by virtue, I've also started somebody else's track. Unfun it. Hang on for a second. This is Oranai's track. All right. Here's what I'll do. This is Oranai's track. So, Oranai, are you in the house? I'm going to do your track. And thank you very much, too. That was a kind one. And then, Ginger, I'm going to come back after. My mod is going to take a look. One of the mods are going to take a look at which one it is and grab that. And after this, we'll do that track. Okay, Ginger? Okay. All right. I'll save that. Copy the... okay. And then but since I started with Oranai, where's Oranai? Oranai, are you in the house? Let's see if she's in the house. Oranai, are you here? Hello? 3, 2, 1. And she's not here. Okay, good. That means then I'll go now, and I'm going to do Ginger's track. And when Oranide comes in, just to let her know that I had a false start. It's been my life story today. Okay, this should be your track. Stand by for 1 second. Hang on for a second. I just want to make sure I got the, whoops. Got the right link. Yes. I just double checked it with the lyric. Oh my God. Drugs are bad. Okay. Here we go, Ginger. Ooh, wasn't expecting this in there. Nice. It has kind of a Spangle vibe. Oh, this was nice. Love this turnaround right here. Wow, this is trippy. Wow, these time shifts are really fun. I love the tone on the piano, how she's playing it, or he, she, they, the composer, the musician. Oh. Boy, that part of the composition could have laid it out there for another minute. I would have been happy. I was getting so into that.
Get swept away.
Some great sequential layering going on here. Well, this was a nice change right here. I like this.
Cutting through like a crisis on the breeze, through your hair, out the window, on a car ride, through the woods in open air. If there's a problem, we can fix it. Leave your science.
This is really nice right here.
Don't you worry that you'll miss it. Just you wait and you will see. Cutting through like a crisis on the breeze, through your hair, out the window, on a car ride, through the woods in open air. If there's a problem, we can fix it.
Guys, this is great. This part here is great.
Don't you worry that you'll miss it. Just you wait and you will see.
I just wish sometimes it would stay in that pocket a little longer, like the earlier one. Jeez. And breakcore, Ivan. And if the THC level was way percentaged up on this, this would be a track to listen to. Kind of matches the album art. Super trippy. Kind of cool they're bringing that part in. It's one of my favorite parts in the whole track. Oh, I really like how they're doing this. Ah. I love the delay on the piano. You know, there was a lot going on in this track, Ginger. And, you know, to kind of settle in and pin down on any one particular thing, there was a lot going on. But I got to tell you, the opening, that one section, which we just heard the highlight of just the vocal arrangement as the ending of the track was coming in, that was my favorite part of the track. The other stuff was really super cool, and the drifting in and out of these unique tempo changes and stuff was really super cool and fantastic. But I could have gone this whole 11 minutes and had been completely entertained by the beautiful piano playing, the in and out of some of the hybrid work, especially the ending here. I didn't know what to expect at the ending there, but when that little part of the vocals came back in and there was that beautiful, very light piano there, even though it had a really nice delay on it, and this little pad in here, I just completely I was floating at that point with that stuff. That was, to me, the magic of the track were those 3 points in it. The stuff in between it was just a lot of chaotic. And there was a really nice, and it was chaotic in its tempo and, you know, as fast as the arpeggiations and stuff where everything was going. But I still found that musically entertaining too, because there were some unique little things that were, once again, you know how I am about being kind of definitive, listening to tracks like this going, is there a little too much in there going on there with all the erratic arpeggiations and stuff going on there? It was nice, but my whole thing had to have been those particular sections I was just talking about. So thank you very much, Ginger. That was great. Matter of fact, I'm going to save that track really quick. Hang on. Because I really, really love that middle section there. Hang on for 1 second. Let me put this here. Okay, there we go. Saved. All right. Yeah, the lyrics I couldn't, you know, the lyrics I got into, but I couldn't really pin them all down. I'm going to have to, when I listen to this, I'm going to look this up on Spotify. Hopefully they'll have the lyrics on that there, so I'll definitely check that out. Thanks again, Ginger. I really appreciate it. Random, next up, Lisa Wolf. How are you? This is you coming up right now, Lisa. So I hope you're doing well. Oh, it's not on Spotify? They don't like streaming services. Okay. I wonder if their lyrics are inside their, hang on, let me look at it here. See if it's inside there. Oh yeah, actually the lyrics are actually in the body of the description here on the track. So there it is right there. I'll have the lyrics right there. Okay, great. Fantabulous. Lisa, how are you? I hope you're doing well. This is your track coming up right now. And it's a band. I hope you're doing well, Lisa. All right, let me see what we got here. In this particular band, we have Rap, R-A-P, Ferreira, and the Jefferson Park Boys. And this track is called Leaving Hell. Leaving Hell on the 12 o'clock train. This was always a great song to uplift me. The instrumentation is live with spoken word. Oh, good. Oh, slam poetry and stuff style. Okay, good. So we're doing that. All right, Lisa, here we go. All right.
Twisted world where artists bend backwards for benefactors and victims are to be blamed as bad actors. My mind running all around. Poetry is illegal unless you're under the underground. Devious with determination. Solitudes crowded by isolation. wandered wearily for several eternities, gaining acclaim, using fake names, vanishing by sunrise, committing to the wisdom of the unwise, in buildings where if I wasn't a performer, they wouldn't let me pass the foyer. Here I am, pulling spectacles for the uninitiated voyeurs, but being piss poor corrupted the discourse as power functions on a sliding scale, so you might as well, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I knew I'd found my way out of this hell.
Ooh, I really like that part. I hope that was the hook. That was great.
And that's when I knew I found my way out of this hell.
Super cool video too.
Striving to be the type of poet Lorca was. When one turns their back to lead the orchestra, Black Orpheus, Kepler octahedron, happy recent, eyes bugging like Jackie Gleason, to witness true wonder, that's the reason. That's the reason. One time I was doodling at a gas station and I read on the stall, on the wall, what's the purpose of life? And someone had actually wrote back, it said, to be the eyes, the ears, and consciousness of the creator of the universe. You fool. And that's when I knew I'd found my way out of this hell. Yeah, break it down, huh? Let it be broke down. Let it be broke down. That's when I knew I found my way out of this hell. Thank you. Thank you, art. Thank you, music. And that's when I knew I'd found my way out of this hell.
I loved so much about that track. First of all, the video was really super cool, to help me on the journey. That da 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 da, with the horn arrangements behind it. What a great hook. In a song that's under 3 minutes, they got it in there like 4 times. So well performed and so, like, as funny as it is and as laid back and molasses and just full gravy. As the, I don't even call it rap slam poetry singer, whatever there is no real label for the way this guy performed it, vocally. I was really in tune with his style of singing when the hook came in, but I really enjoyed the cadence of his speaking as well. Obviously, it was kind of in a rap style vibe, but I've been to a few slam poetry performances to get there's a very close, or there's a gray area between the two. What I do realize, though, is that a lot of the slam poetry kind of vibe usually does circle itself with very unique arrangements that could be, minimalistic, but very moving. There was only a few instruments in this, but I love even the little room that the drums were recorded in and stuff like that. It almost sounded like the drums was maybe an afterthought in the performance. Everything sounded very nicely locked in and stuff, and that engineering wise, maybe it was overdubbed later or something. I don't know, but the whole vibe was so chill. And it's one of those tracks where you do set yourself up, and you're just like, hey, you just got to get into the glide and stuff. There. Some of the horns that were behind the hook, or actually I think it was a trombone and a trumpet, I'm not too sure, were so blissfully ambient the way they were performed, and it kind of gave you that. Well, funny enough, this little part of the video that I landed on here for the thumbnail kind of gives you that thing like you're just gliding and drifting the whole way through. But I really dug the tone of his voice when he was actually da 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 da, and you can hear you could see the smile in his tone. You know, whenever I'm sure everybody here has experienced a singer or something like that, where they sing something and you can detect that there might be a little laugh or a smile behind it without even knowing it. But you can hear the physicalness, if you would, of it. I guess so, yeah. In metal and rock, the same thing with that. You can tell that they're making that face, rah, when they're doing the heavy metal stuff like that. So, but it felt just great. Lisa, thank you for bringing that into the house. It's like you and Macuzia and Lacrimosa and stuff, bringing in all and Judgment Kazi as well, and just bringing in all this kind of swift, smooth stuff, man. That was such a great listen. So was it? Yeah, trombone and a trumpet, but a single. These single lines, and the trombone could be so syrupy in its playing because there's all these little itty bitty nuances in between the notes and the positions, that, unique under the instrument itself. Not saying that any other horn instrument can't glide microtonally in between notes, but there's something about that trombone vibe it just gives you that, like, you're coming down safely from that heroic dose kind of vibe, like, hey. Thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate it. Bash Demented. Got a song for you. No, you have a dono for me, a cup of coffee. Thank you so much. Also, Lisa, too, that was very generous. Thank you. Appreciate it. Fash Demented, are you here? Fash. Oh, there you are, right there. Chillaxin'. Yeah, I'm randomly bouncing around again one more time. I'm trying to get in a little bit of everybody from every day for right now before I call it an evening. And then just for you guys, just so that you guys know, I'm probably good for a couple more. And but I'm going to be coming on every day this week. So if I didn't get to you, you come back to the stream tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be just slightly later, but we're going to get through it. It's a catch up. DJ, let's see how far you are. I'll let you know how far you are. I can do that for you. Stand by. Just in case you want to go home and go to sleep. I get it. Hang on. Give me a second. DJ, you're not too far off. But yeah, you'll be in tomorrow's stream. So I'll have you up there for tomorrow's stream, okay? Is that okay? Hope you don't mind. So let's do this. Fash Demented, we have a Triphonic, is the name of the band, I guess. It's electronic. Parks on Fire. Okay. Let me see. Something a bit lighter than the usual heavy stuff. So his message is the producer created a lot of sounds used in the song from the ground up. Oh, I like that. And they're building it with the oscillator. There's a length of the video on how they created the song information. All right, let's do this. Fash Demented in the house. Do. Look, I'm still singing the other track. Here we go. Wow, I really dig this, man. Super creative, man. The composer's staying to, you know, a pretty tight pattern. You know, a 3-chord change pattern, but the sound design and tonal percussion of everything is wonderful. What I really love about this is the fact that he's using great drum sounds, albeit live. I love how the bass arrangement's starting to get a little busier. That live kit does so much for me. This is like modern Trent Reznor EDM ambient glitch. And I say Trent Reznor because he likes to build his own sounds from scratch. Yeah, trancy is a good word for it as well. Super trippy, man. I love the fact that apparently he, or the composer, it was emphasized at the beginning of listening to this that, you know, everything was crafted pretty much from the ground up on it. It's still, like I said, it stayed in this pattern that was just very hypnotic, trance-oriented. And even though there were these really super nice, really glitchy percussive things that were happening in the back, and I liked the path that it set me on just emotionally listening to it, I really loved the fact what really put it into my place was hearing whether it was just played, you know, for a measure or two and then looped or whatever with the live drum sound in it. I think it would have been a little less of an impact for me if he would have used some standard traps or something like that for the percussion of it. But the fact that there was a real live drum sound behind it kept me into the listening mode where I kept on diving more. I also like the fact that a lot of his glitchy percussive work, like I'm trying to imagine what it's like to write these little chunks or produce the sound in these little chunks and then using those and, you know, writing and composing with these chunks. You know, that, you know, and some of them have to do with filters or speed up, you know, you know, and aligning that whole thing up to stay in tempo, even that kind of ramping up, you know. It's beyond what I am as a composer. I have an understanding of it, but how to do it, But that was great. Thanks, man. Was it? Let's see. I'll chuck a link in the Discord. Yeah, send me a link in the Discord and show me how he created that. That'd be great. Thanks, Fash. 99% God. Oh, man, you dropped this all the way back in June 6th. Okay, stand by here. Let's see what we got here. Life and Death, Devastator, DFSR. Oh, that's right. You like the heavy stuffs. So let's see what this is. So I'm glad you sent me your favorite music. I like listening to your favorite music. So 99, are you here? 99, 999, 999. Oh. Okay, so let's do this. Where's 99%? Watch, he split. He's been waiting this whole time. He's like, ah! There he is. Okay, here we go, buddy. Are you ready for you? Are you ready for you, bro? This is your track right here. Let's do this. All right. Oh, very cool. I look forward to checking it out here.
So far it's been rough, but I can't sleep now with the prison in my head. Will it be forgiven the minimal living? I don't want to see death no more, but I want to see life, and I want to see a lot of them that I know love. I don't want to see them struggle. I mumble. It's struggle to tell you I love you. It's just hard, and I want you to know this. No matter how deep in the process, 6 feet and enough for me to love. Let's just feel my heartbeat. Just know this. From the hearse to the bed, transition so quick for me to gather emotions, feelings prominently comatose. But now I know how it feels to be dead inside, functioning perfect, but emotionally immobile, crippled within the skeleton. Organs working, but my thoughts are fucking bursting. Make room for mercy. This feeling, even though we don't really know what it brings. This feeling, even though we don't really know what it brings. This feeling, even though we don't really know what it brings. We suffer grief and carry on. The love is never gone. The love is never gone. I'm telling you this when I break down, be sure, 'cause love, thank God it lingers. Have somebody keep us captivated. My mind is never vacant. These memories are never faded, never deceased. Immortal through your memories. Keep me at peace. I'm breaking down. I'm breaking down, but what I found was memories looked around and suddenly gained this energy and sound. Your vivid image surrounding me. Searching my past, but telling me it astounded me.
And that was such a unique guitar tone for that heavier, kind of thal, genty vibe.
I know it's hard, reminiscing, but holding thoughts from the past. I grasp and I hold what is real because I know that it won't last. We're Kill me in my neck. Confess the fucking truth about life and death. Is it a sad thing? Why are these people just dropping dead? Why have they left? I've seen the silhouettes, these armies trying to attack. So much sweat and trauma, puddles, I'm drowning so vivid. Now I see my death. I need a breath. And I'm just waiting for him to pass by. Just give me a chance, and when I look him in the eye, extends his arm as I extend mine. Cautious when you enter the night, it's pitch black before the sunset. Shadow in the night, it's out of context. How do I see what I can sense? Intense, mark of events will really show. Cause now I know how it feels to be dead inside, functioning perfect, but emotionally immobile, crippled within the skull is hurting. Organs working, but my thoughts are fucking bursting. Make way for mercy. And I know you know, and I know you know this feeling, even though we don't wanna know what it brings. This feeling, even though we don't wanna know what it brings. This feeling, even though we don't wanna know what it brings. We suffer grief and carry on. The love is never gone. The love is never gone. I'll tell you this, when I break down, be sure his love ain't gonna lingers. Asking for the keep this captivated. My mind is never vacant. These memories are never faded, never deceased. Immortal through more memories. Keep me at peace. I'm breaking down, down. I'm breaking down, but what I found was memories looked around and suddenly gained this energy and sound. You're vivid and it's surrounding me. Searching my past, but telling me it astounded me.
Oh. Oh, that's the punchy. All right, there was a lot about this track that I really liked. One of the things was the through melody. Oh, da 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 da. You know, the melody that was being played with the guitar was a really important part of the track, and add that kind of glidey ambience to it. That guitar tone, that kind of thal, genty. I don't even know if I'm using the right term, genres to represent that sound. What I really loved about that energy in the song, the tone they used in the guitar, is that it wasn't so giantly shoved in your ear holes with a stereo dynamic, you know, with stereo imaging. How sometimes that could be so freaking overwhelming. I mean, it's supposed to be with that style of music, it's supposed to be overwhelmed. But what the producers did, or if they produced it themselves or whatever, that I thought was great, is they still introduced the punch, you know, of the people's elbow in the throat with that darkness of the guitar tones, but they put it in a place in the mix where the performer who was doing, you know, the slam poetry rapping style performance wasn't overly stepped on, even though he was kind of back in the mix a little bit. You know, I really had to, I kind of understood that. I really dug the cadence in this performance was one thing, but the other thing is that this was kind of like, I don't know, I don't know a better way to explain it, because I don't have a really big experience with the particular sounds or bands in the world and stuff, kind of like a Thal Genty Linkin Park vibe. I don't know if that's safe to say that, you know, but without being so overly ballsy in the mix that it becomes, yeah, is that rapcore? Is that another thing? 99%, you know, that kind of vibe. And also, I like the high vocals. There were some high background vocals that were happening in the back there too. So, you know, they paid homage to the power of ethereal ambient glide with the power of what this track was all about. And I thought they did a really great job. 99%. I thought that was really super cool. Yeah, thank you for bringing it in the house. I was almost getting ready to pack up, but then I saw Aura and I woke up. So here's what happened. I was getting ready to do somebody's track. I forgot what it was. And you know, every now and then I click on the wrong thing, and all of a sudden I'm playing the song going, here we go. And the guy goes, hey man, that's not mine. I'm like, oh, emergency, pull up, hit parachute. And I realized that I had started your song, but then I said, Oranai, are you here? Oranai! And you fell asleep, so I went, okay, I'll play hers later. And went back to this one. But now that you're here, I'm going to honor that. So, hi ZD2020, how's it? So let's do this, okay? So, and I know, Tonto Corazon wanted, it was also like the track as well. So we're coming back into a little bit of a glitch that I had in my own doing because of being an old fut. This is from Oranai. The band name is Red Vox, and the name of the track is Stranded. All right. I want to make sure I got this right. Thank you, mods, for repairing that, too. Putting it back into the form because I blew it, I think. I sent it. Okay, Oranai, here we go. Then you can go back to sleep. I like the acoustic and clean guitars. Well done. Really works with the tone of his voice.
Lost to the void, all sense of time. Was there no meaning to my life? The air I breathe is running dry. Don't think I'll last another night. I can't hear you if you're calling out my name. I can't see you when I'm feeling just the same. I can't see
I could have swore I heard a major resolution in one of the guitars. I always love when the bass follows the melody, like it did in this hook just there. It was great. Yeah, that's an old school guitar sound.
When I was young, I dreamed I'd fly. I wish I had the nerve to try.
Dad rock
I
rules.
see my life before my eyes. All that I loved and I despised. I can't hear you if you're calling out my name. I can't see you when I'm feeling just the same. I can't see you. I can't hear you. I believe it when I die.
Ooh, that's a little Pink Floydy use of the delay there. Even this section is very Pink Floydy.
Well, I'm a million miles away from
This has Dark Side of the Moon vibes. So dad rock. I don't know, isn't it now considered grandpa rock? I don't know. Yeah, very deep purple. And yes, SB, it's just rock. The way the drums are engineered is a very potent part of this that locks it also into the dad rock era, or what it is we call dad rock. There's a lot of organ that was happening back there. Bizarre. There was always a harmonic that would almost went into a major third, it sounded like. Here's where I hear the David Bowie influence for sure. Oh my God, that little spring reverb delay that was going on there. That was ice. That was such a nice nostalgic ride there, because as we're talking, messing around with the terms of the genres, dad rock, petroglyph rock, I don't know, whatever we decide to call it. there's just something to be said. You know, we do put that in our minds. I think what happens, and you know, SB brings up a really good point, and so did Double A as well, as far as seconding that, is that this is just great rock music. But I think what happens with the ageism, if you would, of having us try to put it in a genre is the fact that nostalgically it does have a particular sound that just, you know, if you were lucky enough to be alive like I was in the 60s and the 70s to hear this music first time, there's a very nostalgic, you know, aspect to it, you know, like I always say, soundtrack of your life vibe. So when I listen to tracks that pull me back into that early stuff, you know, except now I realize I'm no longer a dad, I'm a grandpa. So I don't know where that line is from grandpa rock to dad rock to petroglyph rock or whatever it is, you know, Cialis rock. I like, that's funny. But you know, there was a few tracks so far on this session that I really enjoyed, the non-overproduced aspect of it. You know what I mean? Oh, he's a Twitch streamer as well? Oh, that'd be great. Maybe he and I could do something together as far as talking story. Wouldn't that be killer? I don't know how to reach out to him or something, but I think that'd be kind of fun if he and I did a little bit of a stream together, and then we could talk bubbles. I think that'd be Jurassic Rock. Jesus. So anyhow, yeah, I really, 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 really like that track. Sometimes when I'm listening to music here, and there's times I'm listening to tracks that you guys are suggesting, and I find myself, you know, getting into the analytics side of it. But like I said earlier, I think sometime earlier in the stream, there's a couple songs that I just kind of glaze over, and I just let it take me where it needs to. You know, because there's only so much I could say about chords that might have simple chord changes and turnarounds and stuff and highlight a nice run or something like that. But there's certain times where I just have to sit there and go, yeah, man, this is what songwriting is all about. This is what music's all about. Very teleporting, you know. In my case, at my age, it could be telefarting, but teleporting. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna do another one. How about if I do another one? I'm just kind of scrolling around here because because we haven't been around for about 2.5 weeks. A lot of people dropped in donos and stuff, so I'm kind of skirting all over the place trying to pull in. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ring. Who do I got here? Tonto Corazon. Tonto Corazon, I'm doing your song, dude. This track is, how are you, Tonto Corazon? ¿Cómo está? ¿Qué te parece, mano? ¿Qué tal? Hey, you know what? Park Pal, I'm going to get to yours right after this, as a matter of fact. So hang in there, my friend. It doesn't mean that I'm playing favoritism. I'm just going to kind of going this day, that day, this day, that day, but just everybody hang in there. I try to do the best. If I had the energy to stay on for 8 hours and wipe out everybody's donos, I would. But I'm old fut. That's why I need this. This is my latest prescription in my taco sauce. And I realize I can't even say taco sauce anymore. Somebody called me out on that. I can't believe it, what the world turns into with their words and what taco now means to some people. And I'm like, no, the freaking food. I'm like, why do you guys got to be, not you guys, but I had a conversation. Somebody started laughing when I said, oh yeah, the taco sauce. And he was like, he starts looking at me kind of weird. I'm like, going, what? And he goes, dude, you know what that is? I don't know if I want to know what that is. Okay, let me get right back to it. So here we go again, Tonto Corazon. This is a band, Yacer Tejeda. Claro que sí, en efecto. Let's see what I got here. And the name is La Vierda. Oh, right. What are you taco about? Double A. Double A. Lives too close to a dispensary. No, I'm kidding. Here we go. Oh, damn. All right, guys. This is definitely going to be the last track. And let me see here. Yes, it was a very kind donation. But this track is 19 minutes long, guys. So let's chill. We're going for it. It falls within the confines of the donos. Oh, this is also played at one of those little, what's this called? When they play at these little, oh, I see. Wait a second. Hopefully this gets started right away. Okay. I'm sorry. I take that back. It's 19 minutes long, but the song starts at 8 minutes something. So What's the name of this little performance? What's it called? The little pocket performance or something like that? When you play in these little library things, what's it called? Tiny desk. Is this a tiny desk? Okay, so I'm gonna get this link and then I'm gonna set it at 8:26. So stand by. It might automatically do it. I think if you did it correctly. If not, then this is what we're doing. Okay, guys, a little tiny desk. Let's see if this goes to it. If not, yes, it does. It went right to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No
With
problem.
My music, we want to pay honor and tribute to our ancestral traditions and Afro-Dominican culture that take place in the countryside of the Dominican Republic.
Wonderful.
These traditions are passed down from generations and generations for centuries. And the
Bass
next
player's
song
high. He's
is
just
a
playing in the
rendition
background.
of a traditional celebration that happened in the south of the Dominican Republic. And this tradition is called La Sarandunga de Bani. This happened every June 24th in
I know of
devotion to
this.
San John the Baptist. And it's beautiful where everybody play, drink, and dance. Esta canción se llama La Vereda.
Bravo, mano. Dale.
Whoa, vamos a verlo. A medianoche. Los sanjuaneros. Bomba, 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 Sarandunga de Baní. Oh, oh, vamos a verlo a medianoche. Los sanjuaneros. Oh, vamos a verlo a medianoche. Los sanjuaneros. Oh, vamos a verlo a medianoche. Los Baní lejos. Oh, vamos a verlo a medianoche. Los sanjuaneros.
Ah, this is badass.
Allá por la vereda, de Baní te quiero ver, bailando la sarandunga, hasta el amanecer, ya suena la cana, a San Juan le cantaré, repicando los tambores, esta fiesta viviré.
Wow. Banging.
Que amanezca. Oh, que amanezca. Oh, que amanezca. Oh, que amanezca.
Hoy que amanezca si quiere amanecer. Ya cantan los gallos, ya quiere amanecer.
Pure stank face for sure.
Arriba de la bamba
I love the bass line in this, man. The bass pattern in this is insane.
ahí va la capitana que le gusta beber. Que prenden el fogo, la fiesta va a encender. Cantándole a San Juan, alegría, bomba.
A little bit of a Demiola, Jorge Strunz kind of vibe there. I love that. Oh, that was fantastic. That was absolutely fantastic, man.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
So much, NPR.
That was so freaking cool. I love that so much. And I was like so like into it for the real reason of the rhythm, how the rhythm kind of saturates you in this kind of Afro Dominican kind of vibe. There's something about it that, once again, please submit more to me of them later. But there's something about that it's intoxicating. You know, when we have these cultures, you know, blended in with the African, you know, there's a lot of the Latin fusion African kind of combos are so intoxicating and hypnotic, you know, and usually goes along with their, you know, your favorite cup of kava or ava or special potion that each one of these cultures might be using in celebration during these kind of hypnotic moments, and the music that yields from it and the rhythmic patterns that come from it are so wonderful. So absolutely insanely wonderful. And I can't thank you enough, Tonto Corazon, for bringing that in. You know, I really love that. Especially, well, I'll tell you what I really like about this arrangement, as well as the fact that with the, you know, more of the lead guitar vibe in there, you know, that to me was a little bit more of a lean, I think, in a little more modern day. Since I don't have any experience really with Dominican, Afro-Dominican music, as far as, you know, knowing artists, knowing styles and stuff like that. I don't know when the electric guitar infusion came in more during that Latin American infusion that happened like in the 70s with my uncle's band, Caldera, for those of you who ever listened back in the day of, you know, Latin jazz fusion back in the 70s, where there was, you know, the Weather Report kind of vibe, where you had the Al Di Meolas and the Jorge Strunzes and stuff like that did infuse John McLaughlin guys that did infuse a little bit of the rock sounds along with the progressive, you know, jazz fusion work. And it was, you know, I studied a little bit of the African Naningo infusion as well. I listened. My father and my uncle taught me a little bit of that. And so I was very fortunate during that period of my professional life, if you would, that I had the opportunity to be exposed to it. So anyhow, I love that for sure. Okay, guys, listen, I'm going to dip out. But before I do, for those of you who are here, since I was listening to this and I was looking around, something from my Key of Jeeves channel popped up on the browser. And this is actually one of my dad's tracks from the band Caldera, though it's going to have a different energy to it. I want to close this stream with that. I hope you don't mind, with one of these tracks here. It's just album cover stuff. But this was my dad's arrangement. Caldera was the name of the band, but my uncle had my dad do one or two arrangements on each album, which was, you know, he wrote the tracks, but they all played it. They performed it. So this one is called Triste, and this was off of Sky Islands, which was the very first album of, I think, no, it was the second one. I'm sorry. The second album of Caldera. And this was my dad. But my dad's actually playing the keys in this one. But this is everybody else in it. So, For those of you who are left and hanging out, this is one of my dad's track from Caldera. This is 1977. And obviously his forte behind his arrangements too is his string arrangements too. So super chill. If you got your bong, if you got your Jeeves, your gravity bong, you're getting baked, having the last sip of your martini, pulling that last shot of your mason jar, you've been cruising all night. This definitely will get you in the vibe here. Yes, triste does mean sad, but what was the inspiration behind this one? You know what? I'm not too sure. I asked my dad when I was younger, and he didn't quite give me an answer that I could feel. Like I could see in his eyes, he didn't have the real, like, behind it, you know? So anyhow, I'll leave this for your interpretation. This is my dad's arrangement with the band Caldera 1977. Enjoy. Here we go. My dad and his strings. That's Dean Cortez on the bass. And remember, this is the era where he and his friend Lalo Schiffer were doing music for TV. So you might hear a little bit of that in there. With the guitars, Jorge Strantz. Jorge going off. And this is Steve Travagalloni. Just got chicken skin. All right. And then the car drove off into the fog, leaving behind the 360 ladies. It was on to the next day. This ending is so my dad, too. So there it was, guys. That was my dad's track. He was playing all the electric keys on that, on all that. And this was one of his more mellower pieces for the track. I just thought after everything we were listening to, that would be just a real super sick way to end it. My dad's those chord changes and stuff that he's done all throughout all of his arrangements, except for the movies and stuff that he did. But that's where, like, you know, at that point, I'm 15 years old-ish. Yeah, I'm 15, 16 years old, and already been influenced by all of that. And the recording studio was also a rehearsal studio for Caldera. So I'd be going to sleep, and next door would be the studio, and I'd hear all this stuff going down. And I think a lot of my guitar playing and a lot of the legato work actually comes from listening to Steve Travagalloni with all of his, you know, his solos on saxophone and the flute and all that sort of stuff. And Dean Cortez and his brother Jody, they lived around the corner, so always surrounded with that kind of stuff. But why not just end the stream on a note like that? And I will be coming back tomorrow.